Hey everybody, this is Britt with Vine Dresser Lawn and Landscape. Today we're going to look over disease called large patch. You're going to see it in warm season lawns. The reason we're looking over it today is because as our lawns are greening up, this is a good time to scout for large patch, and then you could do a treatment now just to kind of stop it from, in case it's spreading, to stop it from spreading. But I want to do preventative treatments in the fall. And so I'm going to go over a article with NC State Extension on large patch. And first, we're going to take a couple of looks at pictures of what it looks like. And this is probably a good picture right here. And so you can see it's a big circular patch. You're going to see yellowing in here. You're going to see it's kind of orange on the outside, real bare right here, and brown. And you can see it's struggling to come out of dormancy in that area. And then we'll take a drastic look. That's another good picture of large patch. Here's a good one. You can see that browned areas. And this is what it's going to look like on the leaf itself. And that's what another picture of the leaf. And then we'll see the damage there. See it's yellowing out. Okay, so large patch is a new name for an old disease of warm season turf grasses. The disease was formerly called brown patch, the same disease that affects cool season grasses during hot weather. But other than the fact that they affect different grasses, there are several important differences between brown patch and large patch that necessitated the name change. They occur at different times of the year. They produce distinct symptoms caused by different strands of fungus, and they require different control strategies. Development factors of large patch. Large patch begins to develop when soil temperatures decline to 70 degrees in the fall. So large patch is going to start to activate in the fall, but the symptoms do not necessarily appear at this time. Symptoms of large patch are most evident during periods of cool, wet weather in fall and spring. But in many cases, symptoms may not be evident until early spring when the warm season grasses are greening up. So as your grass is coming out of dormancy, you want to be looking for large patch. And then you can treat it once now, but in the fall, you're going to want to treat for preventative measures. So large patch is favored by excessive nitrogen in the fall. That's fertilizing too late. And spring, poor soil drainage, over irrigation, excessive thatch, low mowing heights. Centipede grass and seashore paspalum are most susceptible to large patch, followed by zoysia grass, then St. Augustine grass, and then Bermuda is rarely affected by large patch, recovers very quickly when the disease does occur. So around here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and southeastern North Carolina, I would suggest if you have no trees on your property, if you don't have a shade issue, you want Bermuda grass. If you've got full sun, Bermuda grass is going to be your go-to grass. Everybody loves zoysia, but to my knowledge, every fungus problem, every disease problem down here, zoysia is going to get without a shadow of a doubt. So it gets a lot of fungus. Cultural control. Establishment of all right, so here's how you control large patch. Establishment of disease-resistant turfgrass species is the most effective means of management for large patch. Bermuda grass rarely sustains significant damage from large patch and grows out of the symptoms quickly when the disease does occur. So if you've got full sun, if you've got an area where Bermuda is going to thrive, that's the grass you need. Forget zoysia, forget centipedes, forget St. Augustine. If you have the conditions for Bermuda, that's what you need. In contrast, centipede, St. Augustine, and zoysia often sustain serious damage, and recovery can take several weeks or months. So in the spring, if you have large patch damage, it can take months to come out of dormancy and fill back in. If you do have large patch, do not apply nitrogen to those warm season grasses in the fall or in the spring. These grasses are growing slowly during this time period and do not require a significant amount of nutrients. In general, nitrogen should not be applied to warm season grasses within 6 weeks before dormancy. So before it goes to sleep, Don't apply it 6 weeks before then. In the fall, or within 3 weeks after green up begins in the spring. So once the grass starts greening up, you want to wait 3 weeks and then you can start to fertilize. Warm season grasses vary in fertility requirements, so refer to local university recommendations for specific recommendations for timing and rates. And you can find all that at esncstate.edu. Avoid establishing warm season grasses in low-lying areas that remain saturated for extended periods of time for surface runoff. So these are areas, think about like where patios are. You see it all the time. You got a concrete patio out back, and then right off that patio, the water drains off that patio and it sits right off the patio, and you've always got large patch disease growing on that back porch, that back patio. Also, you might have downspout on the left and right side of the backyard or the side yards. No drain. So that downspout just drains straight into your lawn or from the backyard or the side yard. Those areas always see large patch sitting there, and here's why: because saturated for extended periods of time, water's just sitting there, large patch is going to grow. If this is unavoidable, install subsurface drainage to remove excess water from the soil. Irrigate only as needed to prevent severe drought stress in the fall and the spring. Control traffic patterns to prevent severe compaction. So think about this: the side of your house. You got downspouts that are pouring water on the side of your house. It's shaded and it's compaction because it's a high traffic area. You're not going to have good grass growing there. And aerify as needed to maintain soil drainage and aeration. Aerate once a year. Mow at recommended heights. Power rake or vertical mow as needed to control thatch accumulations. So mowing at recommended heights. We're going to see the recommended heights. For Bermuda grass, if you have a real mower, Bermuda grass lawns perform best when mowed 0.75 to 1 inch using a real mower. If you don't have a real mower, 1 to 2 inch mowing height is recommended when using rotary. For best results, Bermuda grass should be mowed often, at least twice per week, especially in the lower mowing heights. So they suggest mowing Bermuda twice a week. That's kind of hard for us as a company to do, but with a rotary mower, we could be mowing it once a week, at 1 to 2 inches once per week. Zoysia grass, they don't really suggest a height. I'm going to go with the same thing. If you're going to real mow zoysia, 0.75 to 1 inch. And if you're using a rotary mower, 1 to 2 inches. 2 inches being maybe 2.5 being the max. To my knowledge, the higher you keep that grass, the more thatch you're going to get and the more problems you're going to have. Centipede grass. I would say the same thing with centipede. If you're real mowing centipede, mow it 0.75 to 1 inch. If not, if you're using a rotary mower, it should be mowed when it attains 1 inch height and no higher than 2 inches. So you want to be mowing centipede at 2 inches. St. Augustine is the only thing I want to mow at 2 to 4 inches. Look, because St. Augustine is fast growing, it needs to be mowed frequently at 2.5 to 4 inches. All these warm season grasses, if you are fertilizing, if you're taking care of it, and if it's getting water, you need to be mowing it at least weekly. All of them. Bi-weekly is just not going to cut it. You're going to get a lot. Most of your problems can probably be solved by mowing weekly versus bi-weekly. Chemical control. Oh, where am I? Yeah, chemical control. Fungicides are available for large patch control, but must be applied on preventative basis. So if you got large patch, curative is not going to really work. You need preventative in the fall. For centipede and St. Augustine, application should be initiated when soil temperatures decline to 80 degrees for 5 consecutive days, which could be mid-August in some years. For zoysia, application should be initiated in the fall when soil temperatures decline to 70 degrees for 5 or more consecutive days. All right, so in the fall, when the temperatures decline to 80 degrees for 5 or more consecutive days, you want to apply fungicide. You want to apply a fungicide to centipede and St. Augustine, and then 28 days later, you want to follow that up with another fungicide. When it's 70 degrees for zoysia, 5 consecutive days, you want to hit it with a fungicide. 28 days later, you want to follow that up with another fungicide application. So 2 well-timed applications may provide, and here's the key right here, it may provide season-long control of large patch in many situations. So what they're really saying is there's no guarantee that you're going to control large patch with preventative fungicides, but you're way better off than doing nothing. You do nothing for several years, it'll take over your whole lawn. In severely affected sites, repeat applications should be made on 4 to 6 week intervals as long as soil temperatures remain above 50 degrees in the fall. So you might be able to get 3 or 4 applications on lawns that are severely affected by large patch. You may get 3 to 4 applications before you hit those 50-degree temperatures. Fungicides should be applied in water carrier volume at least 2 gallons per 1,000 square feet. So you want enough water to make sure that it's getting into the soil. If not, irrigate for 1/8 of an inch will improve efficacy. Mapping. All right, so here's a key. So because it's spring, mapping of affected areas in the spring for spot treatment in the fall can substantially reduce fungicide expenditures. So springtime, one treatment, stop it from growing if it is in case that it's actively growing, and then now you know where to treat in the fall with those 2 applications to get your preventative measures put down. All right, so products marked with the asterisk are not labeled for home use. We're going to go over just a couple of products that you could get at Site One or maybe online at Amazon. Heritage, and it's got just azoxystrobin in it, and the efficacy rating has 3 pluses, low resistance. Let's go over that real quick. So the efficacy rating, 4 is excellent, 3 is good, 2 is good, and you can read this. Excellent control when conditions are highly favorable for disease development. 3 is good control when disease pressure is high, excellent control when disease pressure is moderate. And then 2 plus marks is good control when disease pressure is moderate, excellent control when disease pressure is low. So these pluses are probably more preventative, and this is both going to be preventative and curative. Resistant risk, low equals rate to different chemical class after 3 to 4 applications. Low. All right, rotate to different chemical class after 3 to 4 applications. Tank mixing not necessary. And so they are all low. So you can find out where you can go online, figure out where you can get these, and then you can see the ratings and then the resistance. All right, so azoxystrobin, Heritage. Headway has azoxystrobin plus propiconazole. Union, Calida, Fame, Exemplar, Eagle, Banner Max, Pillar G, Balenton, Trinity, Triton. So if you're using like Headway, where is it? Headway, 3 or 4 applications, and then you want to switch it up, you can switch it up with this product right here, or you can switch it up with that product. And so if you're in the store and you're looking for, and you're at Lowe's or Home Depot, you want to see if you can find anything that has any of these active ingredients in it, and that's the product you'll want to use on large patch. All right, so host species: centipede, St. Augustine zoysia, Bermuda last. Host is where it's going to grow. Months with the symptoms, you're going to see it August all the way through May. And then symptoms, location, and shape. You're going to see lesions on the leaf sheaths. Symptoms of color. You're going to see tan, yellow, orange, and red. You can see red right there, reddish orange, tan in the middle. This one, you can see some yellowing right here. And then no signs of symptoms in the root and the crown, and no fungal signs. So here's some more pictures of large. That's some serious large patch right there. But think about this. You got a centipede lawn, and each spring you see it coming out of dormancy, and you see patches like this, or it looks like this right here. You've got large patch. And so year over year, that eventually is going to take over your front lawn unless you start to do something about it. If you don't have any trees, rip it out, put down Bermuda. That's it for large patch. I hope this kind of gives you an idea of what it looks like, when to be monitoring for it, and then what to do. If you need any help, we can help you out in any way, let us know.